Happy Mother's Day. We're having a weekend of mothers and daughters, and we just thought this would be an amazing opportunity to share some insights of mothers and daughters with all of you. I'd like to introduce my beautiful daughter, Hannah. She is willing to share her thoughts as well. So we're gonna get started to share some things with you.
So Mom, what was your worst trait as a parent?
Yeah, there were definitely many, I'm sure. But what I really struggled with is I don't think I had a whole lot of heart for you and your brothers when you guys were sick. I think I don't like to be sick. I don't like sickness in general, and I think I found it really hard to come up with a real calm space to just nurture and love and be there for you. And I don't think that was easy for you. And I could see that there were times that you were sick that I wasn't there for you. Yeah, I still think I struggle with it. So I'd like to ask you a question. What do you think my best quality was?
I think your best quality as a parent was I always felt like you had my back.
Whoa.
I always felt like you were going to believe me and you were going to believe that what I said was true. And as a kid, that's huge. That gave me so much freedom and power within that. I remember there was this one time I used to play with these two little girls up the street all the time. They were a couple years younger than me, like 4 or 5 years younger, and I loved playing with them. But then it got to a point where the age difference was just too much, and I was like, I don't want to play with them anymore.
Yeah.
Nothing against them. I was just like, I'm just not interested anymore. But it broke my heart because they would come to our door and they would knock on our door.
God. I totally remember them.
Is Hannah home? Is Hannah home? And I was just like, Mom, I can't keep telling them no, because I kept telling them no, and they kept coming back.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do it. Like, I can't look in their eyes, you know?
Right.
And you're like, no, I got you.
Yeah.
And from that day forward, whenever they came and they knocked, you're like, I'm so sorry, Hannah's not here. And then you just shut the door in their face. And they got it. Like, they actually got it when you did that. But it was really great because you had my back. You had my back no matter what. You're like, you don't want to do that? That's fine. You don't have to.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of other moms are like, you should do this, you should do this. You know, why aren't you more like this? I remember whenever we had a babysitter also, like when you came back, you didn't ask the babysitter, like, how were they?
Right.
The babysitter would leave, and then you'd ask us,
Yeah.
how was the babysitter?
Yeah. I already knew how my kids were. They're fucking cool kids. I want to ask my kids how they were with the babysitter. How was the babysitter?
Yeah. I always felt like you trusted us and you honored our take in that sense. And you believed us, no matter what. And it made me never lie to you because of that.
Wow. Thank you.
What was your worst trait as a parent?
I wish that I would have been maybe more honest about my feelings about things. Like, I feel like I kind of closed off and hid some things, like, you know, if something that you guys did made me fearful or angry or disappointed, I think I held a lot of that back. And I think maybe it would have been better to be a little bit more honest with you and your brothers about some of those feelings, as it was appropriate with your age. I mean, obviously I'm not going to unload all this stuff on a 2-year-old or something, but like as you got older, maybe respecting your ability to understand kind of where it was coming from with certain things. What do you think my best trait was as a parent?
I think your best trait was giving us space and like your priorities of what battles you chose, I think, which goes interesting with your answer.
Yeah.
Mom, what do you think your worst trait as a parent was?
Always making you frightened. I was always so afraid and always trying to make sure that nothing happened to you. So I was always so cautious. What do you do when you swim in the ocean?
Swim parallel to the shore.
Okay. What do you do when you're lost in the forest?
Hug a tree.
So those kinds of things. I think those are the things I did. I instilled some fear in you that I wish I hadn't.
Yeah, those are reasonable fears.
What do you think was the best thing I did as a mother?
I think that you always let me be myself and were always very supportive. You always made sure. Oh
Don't
gosh,
cry.
I'm gonna cry. No, I could have the craziest idea or want to do the wildest thing, and you always gave me the space to do that. You never discouraged me from anything I ever wanted to
No, I'm gonna cry.
explore. We're both gonna cry. You were very, very willing and accepting to let me be who I was, and just made sure I always knew.
And I was terrified the whole
You were
way.
terrified the whole time, but you were always in my corner, so it worked out pretty well, I think. Yeah.
I have a question for you. What's your best piece of advice for a new mom?
I would say have fun. Try to have fun. Have all the fun you can have with those kids. I remember sometimes having crying babies at home. I would go to the park, take you guys to the park, and I was like, oh my God, the sun is out. I'm at a park. It's 3 p.m. So many people are working, and here I am in nature for a little bit of time. Why don't I climb on the hanging bars or go down the slide or, play in the sandbox with you guys? And I would just say, like, have the fun, get the fun. It's right there in front of you. Take advantage of those moments of play. You can play too. Your kids are playing, you can play too. Those moments carried me through getting back home and then being like, oh my God, now I have so much to do. But that's okay, because I got a little break and I got that fresh air and I had that fun. So yeah, have the fun, find it where you can get it, squeeze it in those little moments. It really helps a lot. Okay, so now I have a question for you. What is a trait that you want to bring into if and when you want to be a mom?
It's kind of funny. It ties into what you were saying quite a bit. I think one thing I want to do as a mom is I want to give my kids cool, unique experiences. I think a lot of moms automatically say no when kids ask for things, just because it's not part of the plan. They're not thinking about it. They already have this day scheduled. But I think like saying yes as much as you can to what these kids have. I mean, kids have these crazy ideas, but a lot of them are actually pretty feasible, and they're pretty fun. And I feel like doing these things that are unique, that are interesting, that are engaging, that are creative for them, it takes them outside. It feels like you're doing something huge, even if you're not. And it gives you this world experience, even if you're not. You took me to Coachella when I was 15, and to this day, it's one of my favorite stories to tell people, because I feel like that was such a growth experience for me in seeing this whole community and experiencing all this music. I came back a different person after that. You didn't have to do that, We could have just gone to one concert every couple months and that was still amazing, but you did this thing. You went the extra mile, and I feel like that's something I want to do as well as a mom, is like give my kids these cool, unique experiences that are a little bit outside of the norm and challenge them a little bit and have them see things in a different way. Because your childhood could be really mundane. It could just be peanut butter sandwiches in the playground every single day, which is going to be most days. But then, once a year, do something cool and crazy and weird and indulge your kid and figure out what they like and just do it and make it happen for them. And it's going to really resonate. And I want to do that.
You're gonna do it. I'm so lucky.
What advice would you give to a new mom?
Get a really good mom friend. Especially as a new mom, it's really easy to like lose yourself in just motherhood and being mom and whatever that means to you. And I think that you need like a friend that can help you remember like who you are outside of that, but also like support you in being a mom. Get a good mom friend. So what is one thing you want to do as a future mom?
Promote independence. And that would also mean like my own independence too. Just
Perfect.
both ends.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
Mom, what advice would you give to new moms?
New moms, relax. Relax, enjoy it. When that baby's crying and you think that night is never going to end, it will end. And you need to sit in that moment and love it, because you don't ever get it back. Once it's gone, that day's gone. You only get to live it once. And enjoy every day, and don't worry about it. What do you want to do as a future mom?
I think I want to do what you did. Let any future kid, any form that takes, be their own self. See how they can blossom and be something entirely unique, because I think trying to shape anyone into any specific thing is never going to work. And it's pretty cool seeing what someone can turn into. So, yeah. Did we do okay?
Go where your heart desires.
Happy Mother's Day!
People are going to be grossed out by us.